to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.
Cool. Alrighty, good morning, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that outro to the show that Brian just put on the the computer there.
My bad.
Yeah, we're missing Joey, so Brian is doing a little bit of the old producing over here, and
subpar would be the
it's all right.
words
You're
that I
doing
would
okay.
use,
You're doing
100%.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let's turn up my mic a little bit and turn up my headphone volume, if you would, just a bit. Number one.
Yep, you got it.
Alrighty, so good morning, everybody. We are living right now in some tumultuous.
That is a
tumultuous.
good word. Yeah.
I'm getting that word wrong. Times are rough, man. There's so many memes out there that are you know, I don't know if you want to even call them funny. I don't know if what you can say. It's like it's a sad time, but we're all scared, and it's a weird thing because we just got out of the coronavirus where we're all locked up, and now all of a sudden there's all these riots and there's this protests and different things going on. And I mean, our hope is that some things change, some major things are being addressed right now, and we wanted to just talk about it. I mean, we haven't we've been pretty quiet. We usually are, but our hearts go out to the families involved in what's going on here with Floyd. So if we could open today's show, I'd like to start with just a moment of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this world that we live in, and I want to ask for peace in our hearts. I want to ask for protection over all communities, especially the African American and Hispanic communities as they are out there, and I want you to pray. I want to pray today over all the police officers who are serving. That they learn wisdom and they learn good practices that are fair and just. In your name, amen. All right, so we're dealing with some things, and it's interesting. This world right now that we live in, I think the focus that ideally we should be focusing on is rather than pointing the finger out so much, because a lot of us can't really relate, and I would be one of them who would say, I support and I love and I'm connected to different communities, but I cannot relate 100%. So in my mind, the best thing that I can do is to learn how to serve, to learn how to be willing to speak up, and also in my own way, learn to get better and to inspire others to get better. Because I think, in general, that's the issue here. Is we have progressed so far, we have come so far, but we must not give up on the progression. We must be willing to continue to progress forward as a society, as people. And if we are not pushing ourselves forward to get better and to be better human beings, then we risk going backwards. And any kind of racism in any way, shape, or form, any kind of holding somebody down or going against the godly principles is something that just needs to be absolutely 100% eradicated from this earth. It is just not okay. And and we're all about that. And at the same time, there are very good police officers out there. We know some of them. Our cousin is a police officer. We've got students who are police officers who are very good people, very good human beings, and who do actually put their lives on the line every day. And so we respect and we love and connect to them and pray for them as well. So, there's a time right now when hopefully all the noise is going to cause the good kind of change, going to cause people to wake up and to deal with some things. We 100% do not agree with the riots, do not agree with people stealing or doing any of that, but at the same time, they are making headlines, and so hopefully something really good comes from it. I believe all that needs to stop, but ideally something very good can come from all the noise and the fact that we are bringing attention to this. It is an issue, and it's something that must be dealt with. So today we want to talk about leveling up, right, Guy?
Leveling up. Got it.
I can't hear a word you're saying because your mic ain't on, bro.
It is, and I don't know why it disappeared.
That's all right. All right. So I'll just keep rapping over here. So as a society, we want to think about how do we get better? How are we going to continually make steps to get better? And I think that starts with the individual. It starts with the man or woman in the mirror. And when you wake up, you got to hold you accountable. You got to be willing to say, I need to get better. I need to learn more. I need to be sensitive. I have to do something that is going to better myself today. And if we all did that, if we all connected into how do we get better, the world will continually get better because we will all be moving in that direction. So today I want to talk about a couple ways that we can do that. Number one is believe wholeheartedly that we need to connect into the spirit that's inside of us and into our source. We spoke yesterday to a guest, Linny Allen, who discussed with us the idea of her source and connecting into manifestation and to the idea of abundance. And we want to be thinking abundantly. That's one of the big ways that we can progress forward. We want to start that in the morning. We want to start with getting up with good habits, connecting into your source, into God, and really asking the hard questions about who you are right now. And we all have room to grow. That's both the difficult and exciting part about life. It's difficult because you never get to win. There is no winner in life. We all lose. We're all going to die. So there's a 100% chance you're going to lose the race. But the good news is that because the race is never over, there's always something to do. There's always room to grow, and from the progression is where the most happiness comes from, the most joy. And so beginning, get up early, connect to source, connect to God, and find a way to create bulletproof habits in the morning. So what are the things? Are you back up and running?
Yeah. So
I can talk to you now.
I was
at
gonna
this
say,
point?
would this count as leveling up as you start figuring out a new system?
No, you've leveled down actually throughout this
I
podcast this morning.
It went just downwards
Right.
this whole time.
Well, think about it, right? So how do we level up with our habits, right? So the idea here is going to be each day I'm looking to get better. So last night you want to pack your bags, figure out a way to get up early, connect in, and do things the way you've never done them before. Be prepared in a way you've never been prepared. Fail, ideally, not live.
Sure. Yeah.
That would be the most ideal. But now that happened, the question is, what are you going to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
And that's the answer. That's really the way that you can connect into, am I leveling up? And that's a question for yourself. I mean, when we talk about this stuff, it's easy to say, yeah, I'm leveling up. Yeah, I'm working on this or that. And it's even easier for other people to tell you, dude, you're doing so good, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you know in your heart of hearts that you either are or you aren't. And that's something we all have to come to terms with.
That's true. And honestly, yeah, if I take this morning, for example, I thought we spent a bunch of time yesterday and you were teaching me a bunch of this, like hours and hours, honestly, longer than it should have been, but like really going down and showing me all this equipment. And so then in my head, I was like, great, we're all set, and that's not the right mentality, even though we spent that time, I don't know it well enough. So I should have been here still earlier to go test that stuff, like you said, and to go through it. And I think That's where when we do something a certain way and we trick ourselves to think it's good or we're comfortable, that's where the struggle comes in.
So let me just, this is a good example. So we're talking about the equipment here, which we had a little bit of malfunction. And so the idea, though, what's really cool, Brian, is, and this is twofold. So you didn't level up today, but you did level up yesterday.
Yeah.
So you might level up later today.
Sure.
But you didn't level up this morning.
Yeah.
Make sense?
100%.
Okay, good. So because Brian leveled up yesterday, an error happened and you were able to fix it on the fly. You might not have been able to do that before all of our training yesterday.
Definitely.
It's like now you know, okay, it's probably this, and you were able to fix it, within like 60 seconds or so.
Yeah.
That's a new skill.
Yeah.
Boom. But what we don't want to do is take credit today for what we did yesterday. And that's one of the big things is I think when you start to see the fruit of your work start to flourish, I always talk about you got to plant while you're harvesting. So when the harvest comes in and things are going well for you, that's when it's hardest to plant, but you got to go out there and you got to be sowing more seed. Otherwise, you're going to harvest and then you'll run into another drought and you got to work really hard again to get back up to speed.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So just because you're feeling good yesterday and feeling accomplished and whatnot, you gotta come in with a brand new attitude again and go, okay, how can I start over? How can I plant again and do the next level, whatever it is, to be better, I guess, essentially.
Yeah.
All right, good. So one of the things, so Shay kind of helped me with this episode today. So she had a couple things she wanted me to talk about. Number one was, what do you do when you feel as though your voice isn't loud enough or important enough? That is a really good question. And I'd love your thoughts, Brian. But my thought is, gosh, I don't know. I don't know what you do. Like, because here's the thing, I don't know that any of our voices is actually that loud. We've got a couple people in the world, I guess, if you're the president or certain people that when they talk, everybody listens. But it's such a minority of people that actually, when they speak, the world listens. But I think what you do is rather than speaking your voice, I think you listen more. You connect into listening, and then when you do speak, you make sure that it matters. You make sure that it counts and that you're saying what you want to say. And also making sure that you are willing to speak out. I mean, I had an experience yesterday in our camp that I thought was so neat. I had one kid come up to me to talk about another kid, and they were not talking about the kid in any way that was derogatory. They were just saying, hey, I just want you to know this kid might be feeling this way, etc. And what was so neat about that is I was then able to step in and make sure that this other child was taken care of, was made to feel special that day. And maybe they just needed that day. And so had the first student not been willing to speak up, she would not have put me in the position to be able to help out in that way. And so her voice, she might think, oh, my voice is small, but no, I mean, that's such a huge deal. I mean, you never know the kind of impact a day like that could have, and being willing to shake someone's confidence and get them feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
Can be an entire life changer.
Total life changer. And actually, that goes kind of into what I was going to say on this personally. I think it's not about being loud enough, like hearing, and I think that's a mistake a lot of us make. We think we measure our voice, and we try and
by like our likes and followers and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And we try and put a number on it. So in my life,
and we think our voice is irrelevant if we're not like one vote. Like, what does one vote matter, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So sorry, go ahead.
So when I got out of the hospital, I felt very strongly on my heart that I was meant to impact thousands of teenagers for Christ, like just impact people for Christ, right? And in my life, I then immediately tried to put a number on that and focus on numbers and trying to get a certain way. And so then when I went to
you
speak,
said thousands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just and when I really think about it, the number thing I did, I think I kind of put it in my brain a little bit.
But dude, guess what? You've already impacted
exactly
thousands of teenagers since you've been out of the hospital. So it's already check done.
Yeah,
if you want to call it that.
Looking at it like an audience, you know, like this or trying to have this many followers or this and that. And there was this camp I went to where God really moved, and there was the speaker had a bunch of students like come up and pray for me, and afterwards like tons of them flooded through that I had impacted over the years, and I didn't even know some of them.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea that they were impacted at all, and that's the idea of like if you're just living a certain way, your voice is being heard, you just don't know it.
And you stop when you realize that's true, you'll stop the need to have everybody come tell you all the time. Mm-hmm. Because you know you're living a certain way, and you're probably impacting people on a big level, but it's not about getting the accolades.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice, but it's not about that. And then you realize later, like, you're gonna get the accolades. You just need to chill.
Yeah, right.
You know?
100%.
Yeah. You look good, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You look refreshed.
I feel refreshed.
How long did you sleep yesterday? Like 12 hours?
It was something like that. 10. Yeah, about.
Probably close to 12, dude. I don't know. We left here about 5:30. Did you fall asleep right away?
No, about 8:30.
Oh, okay. So about 10 hours. That's good, dude.
But that's insane. That was like.
But no, that's great because remember you said to me, you were like, I can feel it, and I can feel the physical body's gonna need to rest, and you were thinking it was gonna be 2 days from now, and it turned out it was last night. But you need that. Like I am such a big proponent of sleep. I think it's so important that people get the rest. What I don't like is when people use that as an excuse for not being successful. Because I don't like any excuse for not being successful. So there are times I believe that we're supposed to push. We push our instrument a little bit. We push the limits, and it all depends on your why. I gave a speech just the other day to the team here, and I was talking about the why behind our Valleywood camp, and why I go at it the way I do in such a crazy way. And number one, we're providing a service, we're providing a value, and we charge a good amount for our camp. And so my mentality is always you need to be getting 10 times the value of what you're paying for. So I put that kind of pressure on us to say we got to deliver at this really high level. That's number one. But number two is there's something special that happens in our Valleywood camp when the kids give their speeches at the end. And I know that's your favorite part, Brian. You help coach those. But they give these speeches, and you watch these kids have transformed over a week because they've never worked this hard before, most of them. And they're a part of this like new community of kids. They just met, and everybody comes together. But a lot of them, they see themselves on the screen, and they're up on the big movie screen, and it's their face, and they look good, they sound good, they're funny, they're engaging, and I think for a lot of them, it's sort of surreal. Like they didn't realize how cool it was going to be. And when they see themselves up there, they go, wow, like I could do this. If I could do this, I could do anything. And it's an emotional experience.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought of it that way until you described it to us in the team meeting. And been doing Valleywood since the beginning, right? Since we started. And this idea of just seeing yourself up there, it's such a confidence booster. It's such a reminder of like, wow, I am important, I am valuable.
Yes, it's so huge. And that's why that we obsess. That's why I will kind of not sleep for about a week, just get little pockets of sleep here and there, because I'm trying so hard to dive into that editing software and make all the kids, or not make them, they already are great, but put them in a position where they can be as proud as possible of the final product and when they see themselves up there. So this is interesting. All right, so the next question was, how can you be a leader in your community? How can you be a leader in your community? That's a big question, Shay. Jeez Louise. Leadership, I think, starts 100% from service.
Yeah.
You've heard me say that a million times. And around here, my firm belief is to be a good leader, and I've been tasked with leading our team here. A good leader is, their goal should be to raise up other leaders. I think that whenever you're trying to lead so that you can be the leader, not a good idea. But if you're trying to lead to serve and to lead in a way that creates and manifests other leaders who can then lead more people, then you're in really good shoes there.
I'm gonna go with the simple here, and it might just sound way too simple, but part of it I think is just being a part of the community in the right kind of way, in that you're just sort of like you're being an example, like you're saying, to the people around you, and that does affect community.
Yeah.
There's no way that there's not a ripple effect when, like, let's take this camp for example. When you affect one kid, and that kid starts to get older, and because of the way that you taught them and helped them on their confidence, they then see somebody else struggling with that and help them. That builds community.
Yeah.
We've built a community in Deering. We built a community around this. Can you go serve in other places and do things? Yeah, but I mean, it's really about starting to live the right kind of life. And as you're serving people, you are serving your community. You are building community.
100%. And a great example of that in our camp is the 3 wonderful interns that we have working for us, who are here, who are totally committed to the kids, and they came up through our system. They came up through the camp system, and so they were impacted by you and other interns from the past and people who were leading them and teaching them to lead, and now they are in that position where they are leading other kids. And I can see it. I know you can too, but 100%. I can see the kids, the next generation, just drooling. They want that job so badly.
Yep.
And they know they're not quite ready, because I watch them watch the other kids, and it's like they know when they watch them, like, I got a little bit of growing left to do before I'll be ready for that next step, because they're watching our current interns be absolute servants and leaders from the time they walk in till the time they leave.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so that was number 2. How do you be a leader in your community? And we came up with tap into your community in the right way and in good ways, and you lead by example. I mean, that's the best way to lead, is you do rather than tell. Do. If I have a list for you, I should have already started that list. Otherwise, you should already know the list, and then you do it when you come in. I mean, that's kind of the idea. So as a leader, you want to find a way to serve, tap into your community, and ideally create more leaders, because when you create more leaders as a leader, your impact multiplies. Okay, and the last thing here was what does it mean to be a true giver? Well, I think a true giver is somebody that's not expecting something in return. I mean, that's there's a giver, and then there's I don't know what she means by this, but I assume true giver means this unconditional love. And
yeah.
There is no condition to my giving. I just want to give it. And, we did this when the coronavirus hit. We just said, hey, we're going to double down on our giving. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was going to benefit us. Like, I knew that. But I also said we're not doing it for that purpose. I have no idea how it's going to benefit us. I really don't.
Or if it will.
Or if it will. But I assume it will, because it always does.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, like, it's the law of the universe, law of attraction. You're going to reap what you sow. So when you give, you're going to get. Now, how you're going to get, it might not be financial, but you guarantee you get love. Like put it this way, you just bought your brother headphones. You brought him the new AirPods.
Yeah.
What'd you get in return?
I'm very grateful, brother.
Dude, I saw him walk over to the privately, and I sort of like looked the other way, but because I didn't know what he was gonna do, and then I saw him like just come up to you on a beanbag, just give you a hug that was just I mean, must be priceless for you.
It is. It absolutely is. It's a memory that those are the kind of moments that you just, like, your heart gets filled, and if you take it all the way around, like, we're building this place together. I know for a fact that he's going to be leveling up even more because of that little thing.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Honestly, I wanted to get him for it as a brother, but then he's been crushing it. He's just been crushing it. And so I wanted to, in my own way, just show him, hey, I see that, and let me help you level up a little more.
And show off your wrist, bro.
Yeah, and he did the exact same thing for me. I've been wanting an Apple Watch for an eternity.
And he did that first. He did that a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good for Joey. So Joey was giving with no conditions involved. Mm-hmm. He came into some extra money here from the studio, some bonuses and stuff, and with that money he gave.
Yeah.
Gave without thought, without question. And then he got back, but it wasn't because of that. It had nothing to do with the fact that he gave you a watch. You weren't like, oh, well, now let me give you in return. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna find a way to give. And then you both get back in different ways.
Yeah.
Which I think comes back to, by the way, also, as a giver, don't forget the importance of being willing to receive and to receive well. I think sometimes when you're given things, if you don't say thank you and you don't say thank you right away and from a sincere heart, that could be a huge mistake, because then you're taking away the joy that somebody else might have by giving to you. So if you either don't accept it, don't receive it, or you don't receive it well, I think that's a problem. So to be a true giver, you also need to be willing to receive at the same time. So, all right, well, I think that's our time today. Yeah, Bri?
Yep, sure is.
All right, so thank you all for watching Mornings with Matt. This was a sort of special episode here where we addressed a couple of the things that are going on out there. More than anything, we are just praying for all involved here. Our hearts go out to every community that has been affected in any way by any sort of negativity revolving around racism or anything negative in that way. And we are praying for you, and we are praying for reform, massive reform. And at the same time, we are also connecting into the police officers and those who are serving and protecting, who do have really good hearts and who are really good people, because they are out there as well. I would say that they're hopefully the majority. I mean, I imagine the majority of our police officers are very, very good human beings who do deserve to be celebrated. So we must celebrate them, and we must rid ourselves of any kind of bigotry or negativity that is out there that is unacceptable. And as a society, we just have to say enough is enough. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel so we can keep putting out our light-driven content. And Brian, maybe you can play the outro
Yeah, I was
again
gonna say,
for a
should I
second
play
time.
the outro, or should I go back to the intro to reverse it? Yeah, all right, we'll do the outro.
We'll do the outro again. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.